This is Today. It's Tuesday, May 16th. I'm Frank McGee, and here are the headlines.
1972. The Winter Olympics are held in Japan. NASA makes its final trip to the moon and launches the space shuttle program. The Watergate scandal begins. Tragedy occurs at the Munich Summer Olympics.
Altogether, 17 people were slaughtered yesterday.
The Dow Jones closes above 1,000 for the first time, and the Atlantic Amateur Hockey Association is established and recognized by the Amateur Hockey Association of the United States, AAHA. Much has changed over the past 50 years, but one thing has remained the same: your commitment to the growth of amateur hockey in Delaware, New Jersey, and Eastern Pennsylvania. Our sport has developed and advanced because of you. Thank you. As we look to the next 50 years, you continue to play a vital role, from helping players onto the ice for the very first time, to expanding across disciplines of disabled hockey, supporting the growth of girls hockey, increasing the number of new officials. You all make hockey happen. Players, coaches, team managers, league officers, carpool organizers, Zamboni drivers. Our sport would not be the same without you. Thank you for your dedication to ice hockey and helping fulfill our commitment. Hockey is for everyone. Now, please welcome to the stage Philadelphia Flyers Senior Vice President of Marketing, Mark Zothar.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mark Zothar. I'm the Senior Vice President of Marketing for the Philadelphia Flyers. Thank you to AAHA for having us here tonight. We obviously have a tremendous crowd. We have leaders from the NHL, from USA Hockey, the USA Hockey Foundation, Philadelphia Flyers, Ed Snider Youth Hockey Foundation, and the Snider family. We have the area's most devoted youth hockey coaches, rink owners, rink operators, league officials, volunteers, and more. The sport of hockey is in a terrific place. Youth participation rates continue to rise, particularly in the girls' game, and it's because of the people in this room that have made that happen. You're the ones that are providing these opportunities for these young athletes. You're the ones that are helping grow the game. So, round of applause to everyone in this room for doing that. And tonight's a special night. On behalf of the Flyers, I'm honored to be here for the establishment of the Ed Snider Award for commitment and support of amateur hockey. Mr. Snider was the founder and longtime owner of the Philadelphia Flyers. He remains an icon in the city of Philadelphia. And his legacy lives on. It lives on in our front office, it lives on in our stands, it lives on in our locker room. But most importantly, it lives on in the community, particularly in the greater Philadelphia area. And that's through the school system, that's through the local rinks, and it's via his foundation, the Ed Snider Hockey Foundation. So I look forward to learning tonight's recipient of the award. I look forward to learning about that individual's contributions to the growth and development of the sport of hockey. And with that, I'd like to get the night started and pass it on to Colby to get things moving. Thank you.
Appreciate the intro and welcome everybody. This is obviously a really special night. We probably wouldn't be here without Ed Snider. Just to mirror what you said there, I think hockey in my family started because of Ed Snider, so obviously a great representation of his family here tonight. I want to start by thanking USA Hockey, a lot of great members from USA Hockey here this evening. The Atlantic Association, the Flyers we mentioned, and just a great representation of different people from the sport of hockey. When Glenn reached out to me and asked me if I would MC this event, I've never done this before, so I was a little bit hesitant, and I also felt like it was a full circle moment for me, because when I look around, I'm probably about half a dozen coaches in this room that I pissed off as a youngster. Somebody asked me earlier which team I played for in the Atlantic District. I know it's not the Atlantic District anymore, but it was then. Which team didn't I play for in the Atlantic District? So this is a great opportunity, and it's great to see so many people that I've known since I'm 8 or 9 years old in this room. So really fortunate and honored to be here. I'll keep it moving. I know everybody doesn't want to sit here and listen to me for a couple of hours. If you have any problems with something that I say, just do what the Blackhawks fans do. Go on Twitter. Tell me how much you hate me. I've heard it all, so I encourage it at this point. So we'll get this thing going, and let's bring up the president of the Atlantic Amateur Hockey Association, Glenn Hefferon.
Well, thank you. Like Colby, I can't believe some of you people haven't tried to kill me either. So thanks. It's a pleasure to have so many of our alum here. And I want to first congratulate all of our award winners and recipients of awards tonight. Much congratulations to you, and we'll celebrate that throughout the night. I am so honored to have from USA Hockey, Casey Jorgensen, Pat Kelleher, Tammy Tranter, Donna Gariglia, an awesome show of support and a sponsor of tonight's event, our 50th anniversary. And I've been so proud to be part of 45 years of it as a player, a coach. I even brought some of my teammates from Jersey City, from OLM. Let's hear it from my OLM table. I'm so glad you're here. We also have some really special people, partners from the NHL. Kim Davis, Jeff Scott, Paul LaCaruba. They're over at this table over here. They're an incredible group of people that are largely responsible for culture change and growth impact for the amateur hockey. There are 24 different sponsors tonight that made this event possible, and I am so thrilled with all of them. They've done such a great job for us getting behind this. Our leagues, Atlantic Youth Hockey League, New Jersey Youth, Delaware Valley, Mawa, Black Bear, just some incredible support, and then some anonymous support that has just been tremendous. One other partner you'll hear about tonight, I have to mention, they're kind of new to our family of sponsors. NFP is an insurance provider, and they're a major sponsor of tonight's event. I know Leanne Rossi and Fred Solomon are somewhere over here. You're going to be hearing a lot more about them as we launch a program with them to provide tuition insurance. We all know how expensive hockey tuition is, and to be able to have that insured for a really reasonable cost against injury or an illness, I think is a great opportunity for us, and you'll be hearing more about that. So while hockey in Eastern PA and New Jersey and Delaware go well beyond the 50-year history, and you think about some of the accomplishments. The Flyers, 1972, right, coming into conference finals, then winning 2 Stanley Cups, 74 and 75. Ed Snider, owner of the Flyers, launches Hockey Central, which was to provide resources for players and coaches and programs to advance their careers in hockey. Jimmy Doyle, our current referee-in-chief. Jimmy Doyle worked the 1980 Olympics. Just an incredible accomplishment. A young man in 1987 from Brick, New Jersey, and I know he's here, drafted by the NHL. It was such a big watershed moment for us to see Jimmy Dowd. Jimmy, where are you? Jimmy? Give a big hand to Jim Dowd. So glad he's here. And a 4-year ride to Lake State. One of our mutual mentors, I think, for Jim and for myself, and I'm so thrilled he's here tonight, a former AAHA president and USA Hockey director, Jim Plunkett, at our table. Jim, I'm so glad you're here tonight. It means so much. The Devils win the Stanley Cup in 1995, and the affiliate just begins to grow, and it just has a rich history. Mike Haviland, you're here somewhere, wearing that big honking Stanley Cup ring. One of our own. Colby Cohen, one of our own. And it's just, and everywhere else in between, we've got blind hockey and sled hockey, just tremendous opportunities for our affiliate. We just completed May as a mental health month, mental health awareness. And certainly those of us that spend a lot of time in hockey, May is an appropriate month for mental health awareness. But the Massachusetts Hockey Executive Director, Kevin Cavanaugh, reached out to me last week expressing concern that we need to do something to create a resource for our players so that they have a place to turn to in a moment of crisis. And so we're going to be working on that, and hopefully after USA Hockey's annual Congress is over, I'll have more to report on that. So today, June 1, begins the first day of National Pride Month. It commemorates the Stonewall riots in New York City, which occurred in June of 1969, and is a watershed moment for the LGBTQ movement. Every single program in our affiliate has players that deal with the LGBTQ issues. And whether it's just coming out to friends and family or dealing with homophobic language and struggling to find an inviting environment for themselves. And so we need to kind of move beyond that, the notion of tolerance, and work towards understanding and acceptance. And when kids feel like they belong, a lot of magic can happen. And so every single program should be mindful of this, and I think it's okay if you struggle with your own understanding of this, because God knows I do. And I'm trying to get better at this in this area on a constant basis. So a lot of firsts this year. Thank you. Thank you. We have a lot of firsts this year, hosting several major disabled events, sending 2 teams to the Labatt's national tournament, outdoor national tournament in Eagle River, Wisconsin, which is an unbelievable event. We sent a crew there. You'll probably see a little bit of video later on about it. And it was minus 10 degrees, so I'm glad I didn't get that assignment. And certainly adding the male and female high school player of the year is a new event, and just so thrilled to be able to do this. As we all heard about Ed Snider and his impact on hockey, and it's certainly a model for NHL teams to model after. We're so thrilled to have Craig here today. Craig Snider, his daughter Maury behind him. It is such an honor to have you here, and it is such an honor to have you here to be able to launch this award for the inaugural class. So I'm thrilled about that. Thank you. Most kids in any sport will never play in a championship game. So playing in a championship tournament creates a lot of special memories and life lessons. And I think we have a clip of some special moments at our nationals. Is that ready to roll? And I can't see Jason in the back, no, so we'll do that later in the program. Okay. It's okay. I had one other clip which I hope is ready to roll. Earlier, last week, the North American Hockey League crowned their Robertson Cup championship. Now junior hockey doesn't normally come under the affiliate review, but we have a couple of teams that had incredible moments. So 2 from the USA Hockey family, the 87s, played in the EHL. They won their championship. The New Jersey Titans in the North American Hockey League, based out of Middletown, they won their championship. And I can't overlook the fact that 2 other clubs whose junior programs are not part of USA Hockey today, but hopefully will return, the New Jersey Rockets at the USPHL and the New Jersey Hitmen at the NCDC level. All 4 teams, all from Atlantic District, winning championships. That's a pretty remarkable thing. So give them a big round of applause. Is that video clip ready to roll? There's no voice of God. There's nothing. Where is that guy? 2 important initiatives for next season that will celebrate. I think the notion that we all know a lot of women that have played major roles, that have spent 10, 15 years as leaders in our sport, and they will be celebrated throughout next season. And I think we have something about that later on. Another video clip that you'll hear about. Secondly, When you read about game officials, it is always in the negative context. It's either them being physically assaulted, verbally abused, or being blamed for a loss. I've never heard a coach blame a referee for a win, that's for sure. So undoubtedly, that impacts the ability to recruit officials, and so we're changing that. And next season, over every 2 to 3 weeks, you will see positive stories about our officials, and I think it's important to see that positive, because there's a lot of positive stories. We have 50,000 games that get played in our affiliate, and not every single game has a problem. So I am honored to serve as your president, equally honored to have been a player, official, coach, club, league president, affiliate leader through 45 of its 50 years. So I thank you to the board, our leagues, our club leaders for your trust and guidance, and I saved the best for last, and I think she's sitting right in front of me. She's gonna be mad at me. You gotta stand up. My wife, my soulmate, my best friend, love of my life, my wife Mary. Thank you. It is now my honor to ask our USA Hockey Executive Director, Pat Kelleher, to come up for a few remarks. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the evening.
Good evening, everyone. It is a pleasure to be here to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Atlantic Amateur Hockey Association. I still am amazed by that, and also amazed by the fact that I thought someone told me it was Glenn's 53rd year as president of the Atlantic Amateur Hockey. I don't know how that math quite works out, but maybe it just seems like 53 years, Glenn, and maybe for some of you. I believe, at the risk of asking for another clip that may not come up, but I do believe we have a clip from USA Hockey President Mike Trimboli with a few remarks, so I am going to cross my fingers and hope that someone can find that and play that for us right now.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Executive Committee, our Board of Directors, and the affiliate presidents at USA Hockey, I want to extend my congratulations to the Atlantic Amateur Hockey Association as you celebrate your 50th anniversary tonight. I do appreciate the invitation to this event, but unfortunately I'm unable to attend due to a prior family commitment. But as you gather to reminisce and celebrate, it's important to remember that achievements such as this are not possible without the tireless commitment from our leaders and the endless contributions of the many grassroots volunteers that have given of their time throughout the years. From your inception in 1972 to the present day, it is those volunteers that range from coaches, managers, on-ice officials, administrators, scorekeepers, fundraisers, and beyond that have comprised the team that got you to the milestone that you are celebrating tonight. Your commitment to the sport and to the affiliate is extremely appreciated. I would also like to take a moment to congratulate all of tonight's award winners on being recognized for your many achievements. Very well deserved. I hope everyone enjoys the evening, and we look forward to the affiliate's continued success and contributions to USA Hockey for years to come. Congratulations once again on this milestone, and thank you for being part of the USA Hockey family.
The Atlantic District has certainly been a leader and been a central figure in USA Hockey for a long, long time. They've never been afraid to face a challenge head on, and again, they've done an incredible job growing the game. The number of facilities in this region has grown tremendously since the 90s, and with that has grown the amount of players that play in this district. I think last year we're up over almost 35,000 players, and happy to report that this area is one of our leaders in the country in retaining players throughout the pandemic and bringing people back to hockey. So that's a credit to all of you, because we all face some significant challenge over the past couple of years in our country, and this group with Glenn's leadership on the board did an incredible job of making sure kids got back to play, adults got back to play, and our game kept thriving in these regions. I've been at USA Hockey since 2000 in a variety of capacities, and one of the first times I came out here was working with the Atlantic District and hearing from some of the challenges with the way things were changing, with the way the rinks are changing and some private business, and how do we balance that with volunteer-run organizations. And we're not without our challenges across the country, but I think this area has really tackled these issues head-on over and over and met a lot of these challenges. There are still things to be done, but I think it's been a lot of work here to make sure that people get on the same page to try and grow our game and do the best we can in this area. So the Atlantic affiliate, the Atlantic District, has always done a great job of being a leader. And as you see from different things that Glenn mentioned tonight and things that hopefully you'll see a little bit later, they've never been afraid to tackle some significant issues. They are one of our leaders across the country in diversity, equity, inclusion. They're always looking for ways to try and to make our game more welcoming, inclusive, and bring more people involved. They have been a champion for girls hockey throughout the country. They have done all of this over and over, and sometimes it's not easy, but they continue to do it, continue to make positive things happen. And again, when I say they, I recognize that that's the majority of the people in this room. So on behalf of USA Hockey, I thank you all for those efforts to do those things. This area has also been a leader in cultivating and benefiting from their relationship with the National Hockey League. Not only Kim Davis and her group that's here tonight, but also obviously the Flyers and the Devils. Some of the relationships and the programs that have been built between the Atlantic District, the Atlantic affiliate, the Flyers and the Devils have been replicated across the league and across the country, again, to the betterment of our sport throughout the U.S. They've been incredible partners to have, both the Flyers and the Devils, and guys like Rob Baer, who I see here tonight, and Kevin Fox from the Devils have been integral to make sure these things move across the region and across the Atlantic District. Those things also trickle up to the top end. I think we see the elite player development and the elite athletes that we have on our men's, women's, and sled team at USA Hockey, and that's a product of lots of kids playing in this district at the grassroots level. One of the great highlights for me in this past year was our sled team that won the Paralympic gold medal in Beijing. And I think, Glenn, do we have two players from the Atlantic District that were on that team, and both of them received an incredible message of support from the Atlantic District before they went to Beijing, and both of them mentioned that to me as we were in the locker room after the game, that they really felt that support from home, from their district, from where they grew up, to learn to become hockey players, ultimately to the ultimate level of winning a Paralympic gold medal. Very, very cool stuff for everybody. It's been great to see a lot of friends here, some that I haven't seen in a while. We haven't had the opportunity to be together in a long time, together like this as a family out in some of the districts in different parts of the country. So it's been great to be back. As with anything that happens with USA Hockey, it happens at the grassroots level and it happens with our people. And there's so many people to name here, so I don't want to start with names for the fear of missing some. But in this area, people have given years and years of their lives to our sport, to their local associations, the game of hockey across the country. And again, on behalf of USA Hockey, our president, Mike Trimboli, our 650,000 plus members across the country, thank you to all of you in this room for what you do for hockey in our country. You make a huge difference, and we wouldn't be as strong as we are in hockey today without your help. So thank you. Enjoy the evening.
Thank God we have a producer this year, because then I wouldn't know where to be. I think now we have that video clip to show, and then we're going to have our first award. Cue the junior video clip.
Face-off, controlled by the top line of New Jersey. Dumas around to the far side, holds onto the puck, now centers one. Robbins a stop, puck was behind, and it's going to be knocked in as the Titans score to make it 3-0. Calafiore. Here comes the glove confetti as New Jersey has won the Robertson Cup.
Rush trying to move it out quickly. Here's a turnover instead. A shot taken. Snider scores. For the first time in their history, the 87s have won it all.
Hi, we're back. This is one of the dangers when we lose a few people that are part of the presentation. This is our first award, and I'm not going to say a word about this. I'm going to let the video do the talking, because this is just an incredible moment.
A Bucks County teenager playing ice hockey suddenly found another use for his hockey stick. He saved 2 children with it after they fell through the ice of a frozen pond.
Me and Sean, we were just skating right out there.
16-year-old Corey Hemberger says he and his friend Sean Miller had been playing pond hockey Sunday afternoon at Lake Afton in Yardley and were just about to head home when they heard a 13-year-old kid fall through the ice into the frigid waters.
I knew I had to do something, and I skated out there. I put my stick out, told him to grab one, and I pulled him out one by one. His friend tried to help him, and he ended up going in with him.
Corey says something told him he had to go help and rushed towards the 2 with his hockey stick.
I was kind of just in the moment. My adrenaline was going, my heart was pumping, so I kind of just went for it and just hoped that God was with me. Just heard it cracking, so I was like, all right, we got to do this quick so I don't fall into.
He was able to get the kids out who were shaking and shivering, but okay. Corey's mother didn't learn the extent of what had happened until the next day when she saw something a mother had posted on Facebook.
All superheroes don't wear capes, some play ice hockey. I'm like, oh, my kids play ice hockey, let me look at that.
She soon realized it was the mother of one of the boys that Corey had rescued and reached out to her to say it was her boy.
She wanted to just thank me for, his heroic efforts and that her son's okay, and without Corey being here, she doesn't know what would have happened.
She says the mother wanted to know if she could buy something for Corey to say thanks.
I said I don't need anything because I knew if I was in that situation, I would want someone to help me too.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Corey Hemberger, our President's Award winner. Congratulations. Here's the award. I think we got to face a photographer somewhere. Oh, here we go. Thank you. Say a few words.
Oh God. I just want to thank everyone for coming out here tonight. Thank my mom, my dad, my brothers, my sisters for supporting me for whatever I do, and thank you. Have a good night.
Congratulations again, my friend. Pretty well.
We came together as a team, and we had some injuries and some conflicts, and people stepped up where they needed to, and we just created a family here.
It was very stressful. We had a lot of ups and downs, but we made it, and now we're national champions. It's amazing. I never thought we'll make it here when we first started, and now we're here. It's like an unreal feeling.
Over the season, I believe our team has grown a really strong bond to each other, and over the past couple months, we've really started to work together as a unit and as a team, and we've really had a strong development over the course of the year.
The mental toughness needs to be there, and I think throughout the season, that's something that persevered throughout the group.
I feel so proud of this team. We came through so much this year, and we've grown as a team together, and I'm really proud of us.
This team is battle-tested over the years. We played in some really big games. We're looking to go out and compete, hopefully continue that success, obviously have some fun, along the route. I'm proud of the group. It's been a long road to go to nationals. This has been a goal for us since Pee-wees. We've had a lot of success over the years.
Thrilled for the girls. It's been an amazing ride. Definitely have some ups and downs this year, but they came through at the end of the year, and we're incredibly proud of every single player on our team. Everybody bought in, and to be able to play our best at the end of the season like this, it's truly amazing to see for everybody.
It's great to see some of the local teams having success in the nationals. These are things that these kids will never forget, parents will never forget. One of my coaches here tonight, George Havlin, it's one of the first things we always talk about when we see each other is that trip to nationals we made however many years ago. So congratulations to all the local teams, all the Atlantic teams that were able to have success in the national tournament. So one more round of applause for them. On a little bit of a different note, we have a hockey crowd here tonight, not a lot of cell phone service. I'll try to give you guys updates on the playoffs throughout the evening. It's 1-1 right now between the Rangers and Tampa in the first period. I know there's probably some tables to my left who are uninterested in that, but that's okay. So let's see here. The class of 2022 has demonstrated strength and resiliency over the past 2 years. So please join me in welcoming USA Hockey Director Jay Finnegan to the stage for a presentation of our first scholarships.
Glenn gave me 35 minutes to speak, so if someone could please time it, I'd appreciate it. Tonight's winner, the first of 2 winners of the Lou Manzione Scholarship, is Evan Bean. Evan graduated from Central York High School in York, Pennsylvania. In high school, Evan played ice hockey and also was a member of the varsity tennis team. He participated in the National Honor Society and assisted with the school's Minithon, which raises funds to fight pediatric cancer. For travel hockey, he played for the York Devils. For the past 2 years, he was also employed by Weiss Market and still found time in high school to volunteer for his school's summer lunch program and helped organize and oversee a road race that raised funds for the York Polar Bears, which is a hockey team for players with special needs. When I was reading over the essay he sent in, 2 paragraphs really struck me today, and they also kind of reflect on what we should be thinking about in society today. He talks about a hockey experience when he was about 15. We were facing one of the top teams in the league, and we came into a game feeling really confident. My team played well, and it was still very close with little time left in the game. With the score tied 1-1, my coach decided to put me out on the ice. In his earlier paragraphs, he talks about the fact that he was not one of the better players on the team. Overtime started, and I got the puck right away. I moved it up to my teammate, and then he sent me the puck. I took a hard shot at the net. I looked up to see where the puck was going, and it hit a defender in the leg. The puck bounced past me, and the defender had nothing between him and my goalie. He skated in on my goalie, and I could only watch as he put the puck into the net. We lost the game. I slammed my stick out of frustration and got off the ice to go into the locker room. I felt like such a failure. We had a shot to beat one of the best teams in the league, and I had just cost us that opportunity. I felt I let everyone down by trying to take the shot. I remember a coach who helped me, and he taught me the phrase, breathe, release, refocus. When my coach explained this to me, I knew that I needed to take this type of attitude with me wherever I go in life. When I do make mistakes, I use them as lessons so I can become a better human being. Ranked 89 out of 409 students, his GPA is currently 3.788. In the fall, Evan will be attending, I don't think it's a real hockey powerhouse, the University of Mississippi, Ole Miss. Congratulations, Evan. Unfortunately, Evan had a commitment tonight related to school, and we can see he takes a lot of time helping out around school. So join me in congratulating Evan and take his thought with you as you leave here tonight.
Thanks for that, Jay. Appreciate it. All right, so next up, we'll welcome USA Hockey Director Frank McGady to the stage. Frank? Yeah, there you go. All right.
Yeah, well, Glenn didn't give me very much time to do this. I got an email at 2:30. But I came down early and I wrote this out, made some phone calls, and I think I did okay. There you go. All right. Hello, everyone. I don't think that was good. That's better. How's that? Better? All right. You know, as a coach, one of the things I usually tell the goalies on my team is that when forwards make a mistake, you know, you lose a scoring opportunity. And when defensemen make mistakes, you know, you give up a scoring opportunity. And when goalies make mistakes, they keep track of it on this lighted board in the arena, keeping track of how many mistakes you make. It's tough being a goalie. And let's bring it into the goaltending. This year's New Jersey recipient of the Lou Manzione Scholarship Award is a goaltender, Antonio Macaluso of Shore Regional High School. Now, Antonio, or Tony as he's called, hockey stats are solid. He was the only legitimate goalie on the team, so the pressure was on, you know, being at every game, every practice, you know, don't cough, you can't get sick, because you have to be there. And he was. As a goalie, he registered over 1,000 career saves and was named the NJ.com Shore Conference Player of the Week. He was a 4-year starter and is among the leaders of the New Jersey's longest active goaltending game streaks at over 50 games played. Now, as a student, he is also solid. High honor roll and a GPA of over 92. He even had a grade of 91 in U.S. History 2, which I was kind of impressed with since that's the subject I teach. Good job, Tony. All solid work, you know, nice. But what really stood out was his personal letter. I read it twice. I was so impressed with it. It was that good. Tony wrote about how hockey matured him, not just as a player, but as a person. He wrote about leadership and time management, something hockey players are very good at doing. But he felt the greatest lesson he learned was responsibility and teamwork. He emphasized that hockey is a team sport, and you win or lose as a team. And one of the letters he wrote here, which I thought was really nice, you may lose a game, but you never lose a learning experience. Now, when I was sitting here in the lobby at 4:45 writing this out, I called up my friend Dave Smith. He's the head coach at Shore Regional. And he said between him and the goaltending coach, who this year stepped in when Dave had to get some surgery done, his goaltending coach, Mike Ryan, stepped in, and they couldn't speak high enough of Tony. Basically, they loved his attitude. He is what they called a coach's dream, someone who puts the team first. He's likable. He was loved by everyone on his team. So let's bring him up here and wish him the best of luck as he moves on to Brookdale Community College next year. But he is going to play junior hockey for the Junior Aviators out at Floyd Bennett Field in Brooklyn. So I also want to wish him a lot of solitude on the Belt Parkway. Right, Al? I've done this myself, coaching out there. So, Tony, come on up. I know he's back there. He's here with his wonderful parents. I got a chance to talk to him before this event. He's a super kid. And everyone who I talk to, from Ken Jaros over here, and every organization he's been, just speaks so highly of him. So I think we made a really good choice this year. He's not going to drop it either because he's a goalie.
Congratulations to Tony and all the award winners so far. We will welcome our Atlantic District Referee-in-Chief, Jim Doyle, to the stage.
Good evening. The Daniel Torino Award that we'll be celebrating tonight is for Daniel, who was born in Kenilworth, New Jersey. In addition to being a referee, he also played hockey for the New Jersey Devils Youth Club for 12 years and was a 3-year varsity player for Jonathan Dayton High School ice hockey program. Daniel volunteered as a junior coach with the New Jersey Daredevils, a team made up of special need players. His dad is here tonight, along with his brother Joe, are here with us once again tonight to continue to share in the presentation of this scholarship. The Atlantic Amateur Hockey Association, known as AAHA, and the Atlantic District Officiating Program of USA Hockey are pleased to offer a scholarship in Danielle's name to a student who plans to continue their education beyond the 12th grade. This year's recipient is from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, a senior from Bethlehem Catholic High School, Brett Fryer. He'll be attending Belmont University in Nashville, Tennessee for audio engineering and playing in the drum line for Vanderbilt's band in the fall. He has officiated for the past 4 years while also playing high school hockey for his school along with baseball. It's my pleasure to introduce Brett Fryer as this year's winner of the Daniel Torino Scholarship Award.
Hi, everybody. As Mr. Doyle said before, my name is Brett Fryer. I'm from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. I had the amazing opportunity to play hockey in the DVHL for the past couple of years with the Lehigh Valley Phantoms Youth, and recently started officiating. I have had 4 seasons in the Atlantic District so far, and I've enjoyed each and every one of them. It's an honor to be here tonight to receive this award. I'd like to extend my thanks to the Scholarship Committee for their consideration of my essay, along with many others that have been submitted for the scholarship, along with the district for allowing us all to partake in the great game of hockey together. I may not have known Daniel Torino personally. However, after speaking to his family at the table, I'd like to extend my greatest thanks for them for coming up with this scholarship and award. I'm honored to continue his legacy in the hockey community, and I'm glad to see that his family is still involved in the hockey community to this day. The game is a much better place because of his legacy. Again, thank you, Mr. Doyle, for coordinating this scholarship and introducing me, and thank you for Mr. Heffron for putting this all together and having us together tonight. Thank you.
So this next one is one that's a little more near and dear to my heart. We're going to talk a little bit about high school hockey here in this area, and we're going to welcome the chair of the Flyers Cup tournament, Eric Ty, to the stage.
Excuse me. The winner of the male scholarship for High School Player of the Year is an A+ student at Malvern Prep with a 3.96 GPA. He was a 4-year varsity player, second leading scorer in Malvern school history, a 2-time Flyers Cup champion, a 2-time Bobby Clark Flyers Cup MVP. He was a leading scorer in the Flyers Cup tournament this past season, a 1-time state champion. He was his captain of his senior year at Malvern, and he was a 2-time APAC first-team player, and he will be heading to Drexel University next year, and that is Matt Harris.
He's a man of few words. He probably doesn't want to talk. You want to talk?
Good evening, everybody. As mentioned, my name is Matt Harris. I would just like to thank the AAHA for having me here. Along to my, I'd like to also thank my parents, coaches, teammates who have helped me throughout my journey with hockey and for their continued support. And to all the other honorees here tonight, congratulations. Thank you.
Congratulations, and we'll welcome Glenn back up to the stage. You don't need to be clapped for. We've clapped for you enough.
Thank you. John Graves was originally supposed to present this, and unfortunately John isn't feeling well, so I had to kind of fill in for him. So the female player of the year, high school player of the year, playing hockey since she was 5, turned 8, found her passion for net minding and never looked back. Had a career in the Atlantic District the entire time, played for Unionville High School as a player with Chester County Cougars, the Westchester Quakers, and the Philadelphia Junior Flyers. She's a 2-time bronze medalist at the Tier 1 USA Hockey National Championships in 19 and 21 with the Flyers, and helped lead the team to a silver medal in 22 at the 19U AAA level. In 2020, she was awarded the Daily Local News Girls High School Ice Hockey Player of the Year Award, facing a league high of 706 shots, the save percentage of .943, and a 2.24 goals against average. She is awarded the Bobby Clark Award for her shutout performance in the championship game of the 2019 Flyers Cup, along with being named Flyers Cup All-Tournament Team in 2019 and 2022. It is my pleasure to welcome Maddie Robitzer, the female high school player of the year.
Hi everyone, I'm Maddie. I would just like to thank my coaches and my teammates that have helped me become the player that I am today, and also thank the AAHA for this scholarship. Thank you.
I'm up again. Okay. I hear Jason screaming in the back. This year's Warrior Classic, hosted by the Flyers, in Voorhees and Sled Classic, were hosted at Ice Vault, and the disabled hockey has just been a rapidly growing part of our mission to ensure that hockey is for everyone. Take a look at this video.
When everyone hears blind hockey, they can't even wrap their head around it at first. It's just mind-blowing to them, and it's just a testament to the Flyers, how inclusive they are. They make an environment for everyone to be able to play hockey. It's the greatest game ever.
This turns into a bigger organization. There's currently 18 other USA blind hockey teams, and I'm hoping that we can be the next 19th team to come out and play with them. Just because you have a disability doesn't mean you can't do it, and I think this is showing all our players, our volunteers, that just because you can't see doesn't mean that you can't play hockey and enjoy something and have fun.
Our goal is to make hockey accessible for everyone, no matter your background, your zip code. So it's only natural to bring it into kids who have disabilities and kids who aren't able to skate like others, because we want them to be able to skate and have the opportunity to play hockey just like anyone else.
Sled hockey opens the door for so many different venues within the disabled section. We get to see the special, we get to see the disabled veterans, blind hockey. It is an incredible venue.
Ice hockey is like no other sport. We endorse it, we encourage it, we support it financially and from every other aspect. Our affiliates around the country support it, and the reason for that is because we just find it important that everybody should get the opportunity to play. It doesn't matter who you are or what your ability is. So it is for everybody, and we're kind of proud of it.
short. I'm also very loud. You can probably all hear me without the microphone. It gives me great pleasure to present the Disabled Disciplines Award to Kelsey McGuire on behalf of the Philadelphia Blind Hockey Program. In 2019, students from the Overbrook School for the Blind, where she's a teacher, partnered with the Philadelphia Flyers to try hockey. The COVID pandemic paused their efforts, but they were able to restart, just like the rest of us were, in 2021-22 season. And they were able to offer a Try Hockey for Free event, which was followed by a 5-week event of people learning to play with those who were blind and with visual disabilities. They were assisted by both members of the Flyers Warriors team, thank you guys, and kids from the Flyers Youth Organization. We had folks from our coaching education program who went down and skated with those kids, and we're hoping that their program will continue to grow. Kelsey's fierce determination to get this program off the ground is a shining example that hockey is for everyone. Congratulations, Kelsey, and Philadelphia Blind Hockey.
Hi, good evening. So almost a year ago, I was approached about bringing the sport of hockey to the world of the visually impaired in the Philadelphia area. I never thought that my career as a teacher of the visually impaired and the sport I grew up loving would collide. Fast forward to February 2022, the wheels were in motion and the Philadelphia Blind Hockey was formed. The guidance received from USA Hockey and members of the Philadelphia Flyers organization was truly appreciated. Our program would not exist without their help. We had a great 6 weeks of Try Hockey events and are looking forward to our full season starting this fall. On behalf of all our coaches, volunteers, and athletes of the Philadelphia Blind Hockey, I thank you. To be recognized here tonight is truly an honor. Thank you.
Congratulations to all our award winners this evening. And there is somebody that's not written into the program that I want to single out. You've heard them talk about the Flyers Warriors a couple of times tonight. Bill Duffy's here. I know he's the president of the Flyers Warriors team. Incredible work. Yeah, give him a round of applause. Come on, stand up, Bill. I know he wasn't expecting me to do that right now, and he'll probably give me a hard time, but not only is he running the Philadelphia Flyers Warriors program, he's helping me in Chicago get the Warriors program off the ground there. So obviously, great work. Hockey truly is for everybody. I think the more people that play, the better off we all are, which is a great lead-in to our first panel of the evening. And we're going to welcome Pat Kelleher back up to the stage. We're going to welcome Kim Davis, who is in charge of diversity and inclusion for the NHL. Donna Gariglia, can you all please come up here and we'll have a little bit of a conversation for everybody. Everybody here? Okay, yep. We get I just want to give the mic to Kim Davis for a minute here and let her introduce herself and talk a little bit about the work that you're doing for the NHL and for hockey in general.
Thank you, and good Good evening, everyone. As they've said, my name is Kim Davis. I'm Senior Executive Vice President of Growth, Legislative Affairs, and Social Impact for the National Hockey League. I've been at the league for 4.5 years after spending about 30 years in investment banking and consulting. I joined the league right after the league's 100th year to help the commissioner and the executive team begin to think about the growth of our sport and how we can continue to evolve our sport to make it a more welcoming and inclusive environment. Notice that the word diversity, equity, and inclusion is not part of my job title, even though people always say that I'm responsible for diversity, equity, and inclusion. Every one of us in this room and on this stage is responsible for diversity, equity, and inclusion, because what that means is that we are responsible for leadership. We're responsible for ensuring that the great sport of hockey continues to grow and develop. And so I'm delighted to be here. I thank you for inviting me, and I look forward to the conversation.
Well, I think I'm one of the people that got that wrong when I introduced you to come up here, so I appreciate you calling that out. So we'll start with the first question, and the first question is about the NHL, and I think that it trickles down into youth hockey, so we can just pass the microphone around. But the NHL is very focused on the diversification in the workforce, fan base, and partnerships, and how important is the diversification in youth hockey to the future of the NHL?
I can start on the youth hockey side. It's going to take us a while, but we have to remain focused on this work. If we look around the room tonight, we're not that diverse a crowd. We're not that diverse a crowd across our country in youth hockey. So we have to continue to make it diverse in the grassroots level in all of our programs so that it can work its way up and through our system. If you look at the success we've had in the girls-women's part of the game, it started at the grassroots level with more girls getting the opportunity to play. We have to be very focused on it, continue to work the work that the NHL helps us do, but all that works out not only in this district but others to try and bring more people to our game, more people of color to embrace our sport and hopefully have a great experience so that we can, again, have that continue to move up through our sport and provide opportunities at the same time at the higher levels on boards and different leadership positions to try and make sure that we have people come in to represent different views that allow us to grow and diversify the sport of hockey.
Yeah, I think one of the important things what Pat kind of started out with is that we have to be more intentional. We talk a lot about, we get people together and we kind of look to certain people and try to get their feedback. And in anything we do, when we're intentional at USA Hockey, and especially here in the Atlantic affiliate, we seem to get it done. And part of that is even right here and at USA Hockey on the girls-women's side, we were intentional about bringing females not in to just play the game, officiate the game, coach the game, and now we have to be more intentional because also to that point, we don't have many even girls of color playing the game, or we don't have enough diversity within the youth levels. But if we really focus on it and we listen to the concerns of players coming in to the organizations, we can be inclusive. But that means, too, when you bring people in, you have to make them feel good about being there and welcome. And we definitely still have players that come into the sport, love the game, but if you sit and talk and listen to them, some of their experiences are not what they should be. So we have to focus on that.
When I think about diversity, equity, and inclusion, I look at it often through an investment lens, right? Because when we think about the growth of our sport and we look at diversification, we know that for investment portfolios, the highest performing portfolios are those that have the most diversification. And so when I joined the league 4.5 years ago, one of the first things I did was I reached out to an old friend at the Brookings Institute, Dr. Bill Fry, who's a demographer and who's done longitudinal work over the past 20 years. And I asked Bill to look at his demographic work through the lens of hockey. And he and I co-authored a piece about the game of hockey and demographic shifts across North America. And there were a couple of things that were really stunning. The first thing that was stunning was that of our then 31 NHL markets, the Kraken had not come online at that time, 23 of those 31 markets, the notion of minority was already a misnomer. In 23 of those markets, for millennials and Gen Zers, they were all, minorities were the majority. And so when you look at our existing fan base today, 40% of our existing fan base are women, and 25% of our existing fan base are ethnic and racial minorities. So when we talk about diversification and the future of our sport, we're not talking about a future state, we're talking about a current state. And it has to start at the youth level. The funnel is the widest at the youth level, and so we have to continue to think about how do we create an environment at the youth level where kids can feel safe and welcomed, because that is going to accrue benefit to the long-term viability of our sport. And to me, that's what should get every one of us excited, because that means that our great sport is going to continue to thrive, not just survive, but thrive.
So Kim, I'm going to direct this one a little bit more towards you, and then Pat and Donna, you guys can jump in on the backside. But what do you think that we could do at the youth level, specifically? What kind of strategies to create those more inclusive environments? You know, you're talking about giving people the proper experience when they do join into our sport. You've talked about the fact that when you look around here, we all look very similar. What can we do better? And I know the old question of, well, the hockey rink is 45 minutes away, and you can't go out in your backyard and play ice hockey. I mean, my dad drove me 35 plus minutes to the rink, and that was on a light year. Sometimes it was 90 minutes to go to practice. So, you know, what are the strategies that the Atlantic Association can use, USA Hockey in general, and you know, to bring that comfortable culture of inclusivity and comfort to people who maybe are feeling like they're outsiders to the sport?
I think we start by making sure that we don't buy into biases that are actually not true. So one bias that we often hear is that you know, the kids of color are always in disadvantaged communities, which is absolutely not true. And we have to ask ourselves as a sport, why aren't we attracting affluent families of color? There's something that we have to be doing differently, because we aren't attracting affluent families of color, of which there are many. And so this is an issue that speaks to how comfortable are we in reaching into communities. Hockey has some of the most enduring qualities of any sport. When you think about perseverance and the humility of the sport and the grit and all of the characteristics that make the sport so great, how do we really use our empathy in understanding that we have to go into communities, and when families of color are the only family on a team, I don't care how educated or how comfortable or how confident they are, anytime you're the only one, you need someone to reach into you and to say, you're okay. And we have to get comfortable having that conversation and to not feel like there's something wrong with that. That's why I never use the term training when we talk about the process of all of us being educated. We all have to engage in learning, because every one of us has something to learn. I recently learned, 7 years ago, that my 30-year-old son was queer. And he was uncomfortable having that conversation with my husband and I. And when he told me before he told my husband. And the first question I asked him was there anything that I ever did during your growing up years that made you feel unsafe and unwelcomed? And I did a TED Talk about 3 years ago, and I talked about that experience because I love him, and I don't define him as a black gay kid. I define him as my son. And so if we think about other kids the same way we think about our own kids, and we open ourselves up to being able to be more welcoming, then it doesn't matter whether they're disabled or they're female or they're black and brown. We want talent wherever we can get it. We want the best. And that's when we start thinking that way, then we're going to be able to attract the best.
Well, and we'll finish it off with something that I always like to focus on, progress. And you came to Chicago about a week ago now, and you talked to our entire organization, and you talked a lot about progress. Pat, you've been doing this for a long time. Donna, you guys are USA Hockey lifers, so you've ridden this wave all the way through. So I want to ask each of the three of you, what kind of progress have you seen? Me personally, coming through the locker rooms, going from player to broadcaster, still being in locker rooms, I know what I've seen. I know I've seen a ton of progress. I know there are words that were in the locker room as frequently as the word "the" that were being used when I was a peewee, when I was a Bantam, when I played junior hockey. You go into a locker room now, you don't hear these words because people understand that these words have meaning to them. And not that they were meant to be malicious before, but I think that there's just a lot more awareness. I think You Can Play organization has done a great job bringing a lot of that awareness to hockey in particular through the Berks. But I'd like to know from the three of you, what progress have you seen?
I think a big progression at our level, at the USA Hockey level, the national level of volunteers and people across the country, is that everybody now is really willing to engage in this topic. I don't know that we were there 4 or 5 years ago. I think, again, always a great credit to Kim to come and work with us and help us to say, let's keep talking about this, right? There's no magic bullet. There's no one trick that will make this happen. It'll make our game more welcoming, more diverse, more inclusive in a heartbeat. But if we continue at it and we're intentional, to Donna's comment earlier, and we continue to have these conversations, we will get better. There's nowhere to go but to get better and improve. And I really do believe that our organization, our leadership, our staff, everybody engaged with the game is there because we love the sport and we want to make it better and we want to bring it to more people. So I feel like we've progressed in the fact that we're comfortable with this conversation. We know there's some really hard parts that are still going to be there, but we're comfortable having this conversation and can really do this.
Thanks, Pat.
Just to follow up there, right now we have annual Congress coming up, and Pat and I are going to meet with a group. We have like 5 lead affiliates right now that are out of all 34 are out in front on this issue, and they're already doing really positive things. Right here, Atlantic is one, the Carolinas, Minnesota, Michigan. We're taking like-minded people now, getting everybody in a room, having the conversations, finding out the things they're doing. And let's be honest, there are some parts of the country and affiliates that do have more resources, and they do have more areas that they can go into, and we kind of start to get this whole ball rolling. But it definitely is. We are making progress. And I said also last week I did a couple USOPC sessions with them, and there were a lot of other NGBs. And so USA Hockey, our progress might be new in the last 4 or 5 years, but we are definitely now engaged and very intentional in our efforts.
And I'd close by saying progress is that we're having this conversation tonight at your awards dinner, and that's huge. Special thanks to Glenn, who has been a great leader in this area. I met Glenn shortly after I joined the league through my friend Pat LaFontaine, and Pat said, you have to meet Glenn, who is running the Atlantic region, and the 3 of us had dinner in New York City, had lunch in New York City, and he said Glenn is going to be a leader in this area, and he was right. And so I just ask you guys to continue to think about the things that we've talked about here, the notion of being intentional, the notion of being open, and thinking about how you can personally lead in the areas of helping to make sure and ensuring that our sport is safe and welcoming.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Pat. Give a round of applause for our panelists. Thanks again to our panelists for the thoughtful conversation. I think, as everybody knows, I think this is something that can be uncomfortable at times, and I think the more that people talk about it, myself included, you know, still getting used to openly being confident and comfortable talking about it. So thank you, everyone. And as we've heard from our panelists, girls hockey is one of the fastest growing sports in the country, and here's what it looks like for the Atlantic affiliate.
The growth of girls ice hockey in this district has been phenomenal. Naturally, we had a little regression during COVID, but we're back to growing the girls ice hockey.
I'll say since 2000 up until today, the growth has been phenomenal. We've always seen that, you know, the growth of girls hockey depends on young players entering at an early age. This district has a solid plan to manage the growth of girls hockey through learn to skate programs, requiring their existing associations to include starter programs for new young players in the game. Now we see districts like Atlantic running numerous events, huge jamborees for girls under 8 and 6 years old, and that is where the growth is sustained.
What we are trying to do is introduce to the girls that there's a lot of ice hockey after they're done playing youth. A lot of opportunities for girls even after they're done playing ice hockey in college. We have opportunities. We want them to come back to coach our players and also to be referees. With our success at the districts, we will grow ice hockey for girls in the future years.
Let's go. Just a little, I have a couple of housekeeping. Is this on? The award winners, some of you are recipients of scholarships, so please, after the event is over, you'll pick those checks up here as well as your boxes for your awards. One other piece of important business for me, the one gentleman from USA Hockey that I neglected to mention who actually had to work today for us and sat through 3 hours of a meeting with all of our Tier 1 clubs. Also here from USA Hockey, and the new Assistant Executive Director of Hockey for USA Hockey, Bob Mancini. I neglected to mention you, and thank you. Only spent a few hours with you last night and tonight, so thank you for being here. With that, I am going to, we're going to launch the inaugural class of the Ed Snider Award, and before we announce the award winners, I would like to call up Mr. Craig Snider for a few words. Please welcome Craig.
Well, thank you all for inviting us tonight. Glenn, USA Hockey, the Atlantic affiliate. Hockey's come a long way. Since I was a kid, I played myself at Radnor Rink, one of the only rinks in Philadelphia. It was smaller than most, and if the puck went too high, it hit the drop ceiling and stuff came down on the ice. You had to stop and scrape it off. It was pretty rough, but you know, as Ed Snider's son, I actually played hockey and enjoyed all of the kind of sense of community that you guys are talking about now, and in good times and bad. And I think, you know, the shared identity that we have for the sport can extend to any and all people of all of the groups you're talking about. It's a great sport. And, you know, I know that my dad would be extremely excited to be honored in this way, because he was kind of a family man and a community man. I mean, he grew up in a different age and a different time, and you know, he loved the players and they loved him, and when with the Snider Hockey in Philadelphia, the youth hockey foundation that he founded, you know, it was like the culmination of developing hockey. And the very first thing he did actually was buy that Radnor rink. I don't know how many of you ever heard of it or skated in it, but let me just tell you, it was about I don't know, it was undersized. And they either had to take the blue lines in close to the goal, and you'd have a very small zone, or you like the blue line, the red line in the middle, and in those days we two-line passes. So it was, he got it going then, and then I think, you know, you guys know the rest. But we are very happy to be here. My daughter Marielle is here with me tonight, one of Ed Snider's, well, how many was it? 15 grandchildren, and my youngest daughter who's about to graduate high school. So thank you all. Thank you, Glenn, the Snider family, all of us. Thank you for recognizing him in this way. I know he'd be very pleased to see how this organization in particular and affiliates have developed. So thanks again. Happy to be here to present the award.
Thank you. Will you stay as we make the presentations? Yes. So our first recipient, all of you know him. He was a dear man. He was in the position of Vice President of Protests, Suspensions, and Appeals for the affiliate for 25 years, started in '97. Tom Kester asked him, he said, hey, it's just a couple of match penalties a year, and the rest is history. And when I was elected in 2015, day after the election, Ron called me and he said, listen, we need to work together, and I need you to know that I didn't vote for you yesterday. And that is how honest of a man you were dealing with. And I said, Ron, I just want you to know that no one will ever run against you, so you will have this job for the rest of your life. And he did. So it is my honor to welcome Ron's son, Dr. Bob Goodman, the first recipient of the Ed Snider Award. Please welcome Bob.
First of all, I want to thank the Snider family for this award on behalf of my father. Craig, what your father started many years ago and your family has continued with your generosity towards hockey in this community is nothing short of incredible. When Glenn Heffron and Jim Doyle reached out to me to say that my father was going to receive this award, I shared this with my mother, and right away she said, we're going. Because our father had passed away this year, March 18th. So his 4 grown children, his daughter-in-law, and mom have made the trip here. And she said how remarkable that this award is being given on this evening, because this is June 1st, and it would have been the celebration of their 65th wedding anniversary. She was concerned that she was going to be spending it alone, but instead she gets to spend it with her 4 grown children and the hockey family that they've known for the last 40 years. So again, Craig, thank you very much on behalf of the Goodman family.
Thank you again, Dr. Bob. And now I'm going to call Jimmy Doyle up, who is the co-chair of the Ed Snider Award Selection Committee, who will take it the rest of the way. Jim Doyle.
Thank you, Glenn. Our second inductee will be Scott Chamness. Standout player at all levels from 1976 to 1980, Chamness played and captained Archbishop Carroll's high school hockey team. Scott's 271 goals in 4 seasons of high school hockey remain a record. Chamness was nicknamed The Shot by then Inquirer sports editor Don McKee. He scored dozens of hat tricks during his career, leading Archbishop Carroll Patriots to multiple championships in their inter-county scholastic hockey league. On numerous occasions, Chamness was also named a recipient of the Philadelphia Inquirer's Athlete of the Week and was also a multi-year, multi-sport, all-area team member and scholar athlete in hockey, baseball, and football, as selected by the Inquirer and the Daily News, bringing added attention to the sport of ice hockey. In 1980, Chamness was named Athlete of the Year by both the Philadelphia Inquirer and Philadelphia Magazine. Scott was also a unanimous choice recipient for the first ever 1980 Bobby Clark Award as the most valuable player in the first ever Flyers Cup Hockey School Hockey Championships. After graduating from St. Lawrence University, where he played college hockey, he tragically lost his life in a car accident in 1992. Accepting on behalf of Scott is Phil Chamness.
I'd like to thank the Sniders and Glenn, everybody here from AAHA. This is quite an honor. When Glenn called me, I was floored to finally feel that he got what was due. And after losing him 30 years ago, it brings back a lot of memories. As much as his family could show up tonight, my daughter's here, my 2 brothers, a sister, Scott's widow, and a bunch of nieces and nephews, and they're all involved in hockey, believe it or not. But it's it's just an honor, and I can't say enough what it means to us. Thank you very much.
Our next recipient, Don McKee, Philadelphia Inquirer High School sports editor. No other member of the press did more to establish high school hockey and amateur hockey in the Delaware Valley in the media than Philadelphia's Don McKee. Don's barrier-breaking news coverage and reporting of high school hockey throughout the area brought wide attention to amateur hockey throughout the Delaware Valley by mass media. In 1976, McKee was approached by Hockey Central's founding executive director, Cy Roseman, to name Germantown Academy center Chris Gump Whiteside to be the first high school hockey player selected as the Inquirer's Athlete of the Week. That initial recognition of Whiteside led to regular news coverage of high school hockey on an almost daily basis in the Inquirer, and was quickly duplicated by the Daily News, Evening Bulletin, and TV news stations. His naming of Chamness as Athlete of the Week in 1979 for a 13-goal performance attracted nationwide attention to the Delaware Valley high school hockey from then national sports magazines like Sports Illustrated. McKee also selected many area high school hockey players to be Athlete of the Week. But he didn't stop there. In 1978, McKee started the Inquirer's Hockey Top 10 poll, a weekly ranking of the best high school teams across all 3 leagues, and in 1979 selected and launched the Inquirer's all-area hockey team. In 1980, it was McKee who first broke the story that the Flyers Cup being established and ended the season by selecting Scott Chamness as the Inquirer's Athlete of the Year. Ed Snider's vision was to make high school hockey as a recognized sport so it would grow and flourish, and the players, like all youth hockey players, would grow to be lifelong Flyer fans. Don's weekly coverage and in-depth reporting about high school hockey in the Inquirer and subsequently in the Suburban Neighbors editions garnered the respect of high school hockey by many across the Delaware Valley. Don's coverage of high school hockey is why today the Flyers Cup High School Hockey Championship is the highlight of high school hockey season for so many players. It's my pleasure to introduce Don McKee.
Thank you. I was overwhelmed by this idea when Glenn and Jim called me. All I was doing was having fun and doing my job. I had no idea that it would be impactful this long into the future. I have to thank the Snider family for creating this award, for giving all of us a lot of good times. I remember seeing Ed Snider in the locker room when I covered the Flyers. It's 49 years since I covered the Flyers in the Stanley Cup playoff. Didn't win it that year, won the next couple. It's just amazing that what we were doing was just having a good time, trying to do something positive and say some nice things about kids. Because when a kid's in the paper, it's usually for a very bad reason. We're looking at people who did good things, and that's really all we were trying to do. And the real award winners, in my opinion, for amateur hockey are most of the people in this room, the parents, the volunteers, the coaches, the people who give of their time to do things when many of us wouldn't give 2 minutes to high school kids. And what you guys have done and you have built, it's stunning, because it was 3 leagues in suburban Philadelphia when I first covered the Flyers Cup. Now, how many high schools are there? I wrote a story 40 years ago about a girl who played hockey, a girl from Canada, came down here, was shocked to find no girls hockey high school teams, played on the boys team and kicked people's butts. Now there's girls leagues, there are girls awards. You have events for special needs kids, for blind children. That is stunning to me. What you guys have done is just sensational, and to recognize me for being there at the beginning is, I don't have words to say. It's humbling and it's thrilling. And again, I thank the Snider family, thank the Flyers, I thank Jim and Glenn and all the nice people here who work, because all of you are the award winners in your own right. So thank you very, very, very much.
In 1970, I was a 9th grader, and hockey was just, everybody wanted to play, but there was no organization like this. And we went to the administration and said, sorry, we're not going to support hockey. You're going to have to get somebody to sponsor you. We went to teachers and anybody else. Finally, a janitor, the head of the janitors, Mr. Noonan, sponsored us. And we grabbed a guy to be the coach that was a math teacher that from Connecticut, could skate, and we raised all our own money. But hockey just has a way of, spreading. And thank you for what you did. I remember looking at the paper before your time, but like the Mainline Times, if my name was in print and I scored a goal, it was so exciting.
Just getting the scores in the paper in 1976 was a big victory. And a guy I did not mention, I really have to bring up Andy Abramson, because he wasn't the head of Hockey Central, but he was their media contact guy, and he's the one who helped me to do things like the top 10 polls and the all-area teams and Athletes of the Year. And Andy was, of course, a Flyers employee for many years, and despite that, he's now a millionaire. And he's a guy that should be getting an award also, because he triggered me to cover things. And as I said, what we were doing was just having fun. It was a great era. It's been 40 years, and what you guys have built, to me, is just an outstanding job. Thank you very, very, very much.
Okay, our final inductee tonight will be Bruce Craig, Flyers Cup winning coach and former Flyers Hockey Central chief coach. Bruce Craig was largely responsible for the development of Mike Richter, who went on to play for the New York Rangers following his success with USA Hockey Olympic Team, Team USA, USA Junior Team, and the University of Wisconsin after a standout career with Germantown Academy and the Little Flyers. Bruce's skills and insight helped establish a program for the Flyers Hockey Central that enabled so many other players to not only enjoy the sport of hockey, but to become scholar athletes as well. Craig coached Richter and many others, first at Wissahickon Skating Club, then with Germantown Academy, the Little Flyers, and Junior Flyers. In the mid-'80s, Bruce was part of the Atlantic District's coaching achievement staff, working with Steve Penman and Jim Plunkett to train and improve coaches throughout the area. He also served as a counselor as USA Regional Midget Development Camp in Colorado Springs in 1981. In 1984, he was hired to be Hockey Central's chief coach to work with then current Flyers players, coaches, and alumni, leading the on-ice youth hockey players, clinics, and directing the many Learn to Play programs the Flyers established with the city of Philadelphia at ice rinks from 1984 onward. During his time with Germantown Academy, Bruce led the team to back-to-back Flyers Cup championships in 1982 and 1983. Previously, Bruce played varsity hockey for the University of Pennsylvania Quakers and later worked for the university as a controller. Bruce's dedication to the sport enabled many players to advance to college and have successful off-ice careers. He was a dedicated contributor to the sport, not just to the teams he coached, but to the community overall. It is my pleasure to introduce Bruce Craig.
Jimmy, you told me I didn't need to say anything. What are you doing? 1984, holy jumping, that was a long time ago. Congratulations to the Atlantic Amateur Hockey Association and everything that you've done over the last 50 years. I was involved with you years and years ago, not even going to say when. And I'd like to thank a couple people. Thank you to the Snider family, Mr. Snider, and the everything for the creation of this award. I'm proud and honored to be part of the inaugural group inducted for this award. Thank you very much for that. I'm not going to mention any names. COVID took care of an awful lot of names in my repertoire, so I'm not even going to mention any so I don't forget any. But I'm very proud of everything I did with Hockey Central that was run by Andy Abramson, Greg Scott, and most recently Pat Farrell, and everything that they've done. And I'm proud of the players that I see here tonight that I coached years ago that are now coaching and being very successful in whatever they're doing. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jim, and congratulations to all the award winners. And let's make sure we give a big round of applause to A, the award winners, and B, the Snider family. I think we could do a little better than that. Well, one of the ways that we're working on growing the game is through adult hockey. So let's take a look at what that looked like this year.
Been a part of USA Hockey for ages, my whole life, and to be a part of this Labatt tournament here, and it's great.
This atmosphere is just super exciting, and all the people are here just having a great time. Great time.
It's great. This is great. Getting out here in the winter time, it feels very wintry, pretty cold, but no, it's fantastic.
Didn't know what to expect, and the weather's definitely a little colder than I expected too. Yeah, not used to it.
The fact that USA Hockey sponsored our trip was awesome. It's well worth the expense to come out and experience this great atmosphere.
Come out and enjoy it. You'll have a great time.
It's just a good time with a bunch of friends playing hockey, drinking some beers. You know, great sponsor in Labatt Blue. Just expect the unexpected. We were playing on some chippy ponds here. We played up with a couple guys are chippy. You know, most of the guys are great. You're gonna have a good time. That's about all I can say.
We need the beer leaguers. The beer leaguers keep all this stuff going, so we'll continue to support them. Some funny videos there, the Flyers Warriors guys playing in the Flyers Warriors Championship there at Voorhees. So moving on, we've got Glenn coming back to the stage for the New Leader Award. We'll save the round of applause.
Thank you. The New Leader Award is obviously given to someone that takes up as a younger person coming up in the ranks, and but this individual has actually been around a while, but coaching, but more recently taking on leadership responsibilities and hearings, and appeals panels and such like that. And I knew this young man when he was playing high school hockey when I was coaching, and it's just amazing to see him taking on the challenges as a new leader within our affiliate. So it was my honor to present this year's New Leader Award to Ryan Carter. And you're going to see this get exponentially faster, so we're getting good at this. Congratulations. Shoot this in CinemaScope.
Thank you very much, Glenn and the Atlantic District Board. It's truly an honor to receive this award. Leadership is something that's vitally needed in everything that we do in life, and tremendously honored, so thank you very much. I'd also like to thank the coaching education program staff for their support and everything that you do to make our coaches better, which makes our players better. And the last person I have to thank is my wife. Without you being here, this wouldn't be worth it, so thank you.
You took my whole program, Glenn. There you go. Jeez. Can't take you anywhere.
No, you can't.
See, now Well, there are certain names in hockey that you'll constantly hear, and whether you know them personally, whether you've heard of these people, they're just people that have been in this district. They've been a part of USA Hockey. They've done great things. And one of the people that I'm about to introduce to you is one of those people. So let's all give a round of applause and welcome the National Disabled Representative, Alex DePalma, to the stage.
Gotta get it low enough. So the disabled section here, and I wrote some notes, and I know I did a good job, and I'll tell you why. I left the notebook on the table where I was sitting when I first came in. I didn't know what table I was sitting at. When I got there, I couldn't find it, and I heard a woman say, "Oh, look, they wrote such nice stuff about your son, and it's on every table." It was his mom. So she read all my notes, but she said it was good. So, you right? Where I, Mom? Right there, Mom. So, good evening, everyone. Tonight's Volunteer of the Year Award is being presented to two individuals who have worked together to establish an amazing hockey program in the inner city of Newark, New Jersey. Keith Veltri and Dennis Rupp. They're both. Keith is here tonight. Dennis couldn't make it because of another obligation, which Keith will explain later. In 2003, they established Hockey in Newark, New Jersey, a nonprofit that removes the barriers that makes hockey accessible in northern New Jersey's urban communities. Keith and Dennis were ex-teammates at William Patterson College, and when Keith was asked to help save the East Side High School hockey program, he saw it as an opportunity and a way to help the sport he loved in Newark, New Jersey. His first call was to Dennis Rupp. The coaching staff was put in place. They started with, get this, 5 kids and 3 pucks. From year to year, the team improved, even making the playoffs in the New Jersey State playoffs with high school. Keith and Dennis realized that if you're gonna be successful at the high school level, you need a feeder program, like we all know with the programs we run. They started with the younger siblings of their high school team, having them at different skates. With the older players, they were enthusiastic and wanted more. So the coaches took on the responsibility of organizing the younger kids into a team. The Newark Americans were born. Keith and Dennis were on their own to raise the money, secure the ice, find the equipment, teach the kids, and stay engaged to run and mentor the program. In 2010, they created Hockey in Newark for kids ranging from 6 to 16 years old. It's 20 years later now, and currently spread through 6 cities with over 1,300 kids playing, and no fee. They added a girls' team 8 years ago, which now has 38 players. Now, at this point, you would think that would be enough for 2 coaches and a handful of volunteers to oversee. However, in February of 2021, I received a phone call from Keith Veltri, who I had never talked to before. He said, "Hey, I got your name from J.J. O'Connor, who's our chair of disabled hockey for USA Hockey." He said, "You're the guy to talk to about starting a sled hockey program in the inner city of Newark." I said, "Great." He said, "What do I need?" I said, "Well, I'll send you some literature." I said, "But the big thing is we're going to have to get some sleds." I said, "We're going to have to figure that out, and let's start with me sending you." He said, "Well, I've never coached it before. What do I do?" I said, "You know what? It was the same question I was asked when I said I wanted to start a special team. If you know hockey, you just figure out the rest." So a month goes by. I still had no way of thinking how we were going to raise the money for sleds, because if you know what sled hockey, they range between $600 and $800 a sled. I got another call from J.J. O'Connor in March. "Hey, Alex." I said, "What do you need, J.J.?" He said, "Will you guys be interested in hosting the Sled Hockey Classic in New Jersey?" I said, "Yes. Let me make some phone calls, and we did it. We hosted it. Now, for those of you who don't know, when you host a classic in your district, any money you raise, any funds you raise, stays in your district to help the disabled disciplines in your district. Now we knew how we were going to get the sleds. So I'll let Keith tell you the rest, but about a month ago, we presented those kids the John F. Kennedy School with Children with Disabilities. They don't only have physical disabilities, but also cognitive disabilities. So we presented the 10 sleds. We put the kids on the ice. We had some people from the Devils put the sleds together, because when I had them delivered to my garage, it took me 2 hours to put together one. So I realized that I overtook too much. So we put them on the ice. The kids did great. We had plenty of people there helping. And without further ado, I'm going to bring up the recipient of the Volunteer of the Year Award, Mr. Keith Veltri.
Dennis isn't here, he doesn't get one. Two tall Italians. Yeah. One with hair, one without. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I put this somewhere, don't drop it. I'll be quick. I'm sure you want to hear another hour and a half, 2 hours of speeches tonight. But it's such an honor to be here. Alex, thank you for everything. It's rare where you meet someone who just literally has a heart bigger than he is. He just couldn't do enough for our kids. He's as genuine as they come, and I just want to give it up for Alex for everything you've done for us. Thank you. Glenn, Maureen, the Atlantic District, thank you for being so supportive. I think, we talk about diversity tonight, and we hear that a lot. I think the hockey world's the best. The hockey people in it are the best. There's so many people here I saw tonight, whether it be coaches, rink owners, managers, players, Jeff, that used to work with me at the Devils, just a big family, if you will. I don't think there's anyone I've ever asked to help that didn't say, let me see how I can help you with this. We want to grow the game. It's kind of humbling to be up here because, truth be told, I shouldn't be up here alone. Dennis should be here with me and all of our volunteers that do this out of the kindness of their heart. Dennis, true story, he went to the salon today and his hair didn't come out right, so he didn't feel comfortable coming here. So he's not really a good speaker either, so you didn't miss much. But there's a few shout-outs that I have to give out. It starts with my coworkers, Elizabeth, Crystal, and Felicia. They had no choice. I hounded them all week to come here, so they came here to support. My two best friends since I'm 5 years old, two twins, Kenny and Kevin, I don't know, literally, I think God said, this kid's going to be a mess. We need to find not one, but two of the best friends we can give him. So my best friends, Kenny and Kevin, are here. I promise I'm wrapping up. So if we want to solve all the world's hockey problems, I think if we hired my mother and Alex's mother, we'd be good to go. Just go talk to them. They're at the table at the end. Listen, I think why Dennis and I are successful, we come from good families. I had the best grandparents in the world, God rest their souls, the best parents, and it's a labor of love. We love hockey. We love these kids, and they're so appreciative, and, I just love everything about our program because we're the ones who get something out of it, not the other way around, and we're going to keep going because kids love hockey, regardless of race, color, religion, financial background. We don't care. You want to play hockey, we're going to find a way. I also have my father-in-law and my mother-in-law, and I'm going to end on this. My mother-in-law she's a hockey player. She just doesn't know it. She was diagnosed with breast cancer a year ago. I'd never seen a woman kick cancer's ass the way she did, and I'm happy to report June 14th is her last treatment. So I want to shout her out and tell her how much I love her and appreciate her. That's it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for everything. Alex, you got my award? I gave him one job. You got the award.
Thanks, Alex, and congratulations again to our award winners. We're going to try to get this going a little quick here to finish the evening off. I didn't write the script, so if you want to be angry at anyone, blame Glenn. So let's please welcome our referee-in-chief, Jim Doyle, back to the stage, and he'll present a couple of awards.
I only have one left in my pocket. Tonight we're going to recognize the official of the year for 2022. It'll be Tim Holtz. Each year, the Atlantic Amateur Hockey Association officiating program selects an official who demonstrates the best values and commitment to the development of the officiating program as a whole. This year's recipient has those qualities and is admired by his peers. He is someone that is willing to go the extra mile to make sure the little things are taken care of at camps, seminars, and hold his peers accountable to give their best effort both on and off the ice. He is someone that the veterans can confide in and look for direction, reassurance that their message is being heard, and changes are being made gradually. He is someone when he enters the locker room with new officials that he can communicate with them on their level and make the experience rewarding and fun. He's a great mentor. This year's recipient of the officiating award is Tim Holtz. Tim has developed into a confident leader both on and off the ice. He's grown over the past 5 years and accepted new challenges from the officiating program and members of the AAHA Executive Committee and delivered each and every time. He is recognized and respected in all areas of the district for his passion, his commitment to the officiating program, and being fair, and for listening to his colleagues' concerns on the issues that are both local and national. His on-ice achievements have allowed Tim to work at various USA National Championships at the youth level over the past 10 years. In addition, he has worked playoffs at the junior level in the former Met League, Eastern Hockey League, the NA3, and the North American Hockey League. He currently works Division I level hockey in both the ECAC and the CCHA as a referee. And when he's not on the ice, Tim can be found in Philadelphia at the Flyers game as the video replay technician for the NHL off-ice crew. It is my pleasure to introduce Tim Holtz, this year's winner of the AAHA Official of the Year 2022.
I didn't know I had to say anything when I came up here tonight until Jim just told me right now, so I'm going to keep this really quick. Thank you to Glenn and everybody who nominated me for this today and everything. Thanks, Maureen. I honestly don't think, I'm honored to have this, but I don't think I deserve it. The reason being is there's a bunch of officials for COVID that were on the ice all year, and this is a team effort. It's not just a single person. So this award is actually not just for me, it's for the entire officiating community. And thank you very much.
Please join me in welcoming Mike Lichtenberger to the stage.
Good evening, everybody, and congratulations to all the award winners. This is quite an honor. As the district's coach-in-chief, it's been our honor and privilege to help identify the up-and-coming and promising coaches for both youth hockey coaches as well as girls' women's hockey coaches. And that's only been in the recent years that we've added the girls' women's to give them their due. Do that. It's quite an honor. So we put out the request to our coaching staff and other volunteers throughout the district. Help us identify those. It's not just so-and-so won a championship this year, but what about the rest of the body of work in their career as well? So to help me present the awards tonight, I'm going to call on Ryan Carter, who nominated both of our award recipients, Nick Beatrice and Gina Arnone, and for their outstanding work, and help me present the awards to both of them. Ryan?
Thanks, Mike. Nick Beatrice is a name that I had heard for years as a player and as a coach. I never met him before playoffs last fall. And what I find myself doing as a coach, I spend a lot of time watching the game, especially big games, but I'm also watching the coach to see how he or she is interacting with their players. High tension moments, important moments when a coach can really get their players over that hurdle, or it can destroy the entire chemistry of that team in an important moment. What Nick did during playoffs this year with an opportunity to go to nationals, excuse me, against the Jaguars, where it was back and forth. It goes to overtime, and it's down one end of the ice, and then the next was phenomenal. He remained calm, cool, collected, player first. It was not about him in that moment. It was about getting those boys to do what it is they had to do. It's my honor tonight to call up Nick Beatrice as the male coach of the year.
I'm going to also keep it quick, guys. Just a couple thanks to some people. First off, I'd just like to thank the district, obviously, for putting this whole thing together and everything that they do. I want to especially thank Ryan for nominating me for this. I'd like to thank my parents who are here as well. Special shout out to my dad for kind of following up in his coaching footsteps. I know some of the refs in here might not want to hear that remember my dad, but I'd also like to thank my fiance Alexa for supporting my career as a coach and putting up with me being at the rink for, I can't even keep track of the hours of being there. But also shout out to Tom Bishop, Bob Kramer, of the Colts organization for giving me the opportunity to coach for such a great club. I also want to shout out my assistant coaches that I've had over the year real quick, Matt Crowell, Brett Brophy, kind of building this team that Ryan was talking about. I was pretty lucky to coach this team for the past 5 years. This year we had, great success, an undefeated record, a good run at nationals, but most importantly with a lot of these 18U players moving on to the next level, whether it be juniors or college. I just hope the one thing I taught them besides hockey skills was to grow off the ice as well. So, thanks again.
All right, so for our female coach of the year, it was my honor to work with the New Jersey Colonials 16 AA girls team. Gina Arnone, again, was a name that I had heard. I had met briefly at player development camps a while back, but I never had the opportunity to work with her. I never really had the opportunity to spend any time with her. In January, I started with the team, and watching her interact with her players, she is a superstar. There's no doubt about it. She came to practice, and every practice, and there were times where she couldn't go on the rink or on the ice at a certain time, and you'll see why soon. She showed up every game, every practice, prepared, ready to go, and to get those girls motivated to do what they eventually would do in our trip to go to the U.S. Nationals. So it's my pleasure to introduce Gina Arnone.
Thank you. First and foremost, I would like to thank the Atlantic affiliate for putting on this event, and congratulations on your 50th anniversary. I would be remiss if I didn't first thank my fellow coach, Amanda Linklater, who has been on the bench with me for what will be our 4th year together. This award is as much yours as it is mine. Thank you to Ryan, who hopped on our bench halfway through the season and provided an additional level of support that I so desperately needed. Thank you to the Colonials organization for letting me pursue my passion for the last 17 years as a player and a coach. Hockey for me, like for so many, has been a safe space. Whenever I'm on the ice or in the rink, I feel free, I feel safe, and I feel like me. That feeling is what I strive for to create for each and every one of the young women that I coach. I believe that building confidence and trust in your players is far more important than any skill or system that you can teach. Thank you to my players and their parents for continuing to allow me to be a part of this great game. And finally, thank you to my wife, Carrie Ann, for your patience, for holding down the fort when I'm gone, for pretending to love the game of hockey, and for never allowing me to hang up my skates. Thank you.
I think the coaches are the lifeblood of what we all do around here. So congratulations to all our Coach of the Year awards. One more round of applause. You too, Riles, don't worry. So next, we'll welcome our AAHA counsel, Dave Bond, to the stage.
Thanks, Colby. It's funny you announced me that way. Hi, everyone. Hi, Maureen. I'm delighted to be here tonight at the 50th anniversary of the Atlantic Affiliate. You know, the Atlantic Affiliate has always sort of charted its own course and has sometimes taken the riskier path. And so that said, whoever decided that you were going to have an open bar, invite the lawyer, and then give him a microphone this late at night, I salute you. That's a bold move. I have the happy task tonight of awarding the Bob O'Connor Award to my friend Mike Lichtenberger. Now, for those who don't know, the Bob O'Connor Award is given each year to a member of the coaching education program who demonstrates excellence in coaching education. And over the last 17 years of my experience, no one has been more synonymous with coaching education excellence than Mike Lichtenberger. He was completely dedicated to the program and to the people who worked in the program and to the people who attended the program. And I think all of us who worked in the program with Mike can attest to that. But I think fundamentally, Mike recognized that player excellence starts with coaching excellence, and coaching excellence begins with coaching education. And Mike was a big proponent of adult education, and he always encouraged us to be as good a communicator as we could, to advance the program in a positive way, and to make sure that the coaches walked away with something beneficial from the program. So I could go on for an hour telling you how great Mike is, but I think he probably wants to do that. So with that, I am proud to award the Bob O'Connor Award to my friend, Mike Lichtenberger.
Here, you guys want to come over here for a quick photo with this guy here?
Thank you, Dave. I really appreciate the friendship over the years and all those kind words. When I am in trouble, I want you in court representing me. And he has on that. Dave, I owe you dinner. I got sued. Can you get me out of it? Long story, I'll tell somebody other times. Hey, I want to thank everybody for this. The Bob O'Connor Award, Bob was a friend of all of ours. He was a one-time national coach, section leader, and a mentor to many of us. And if you watch what Bob O'Connor did, and if you tried to replicate what he did, you couldn't keep up. He had so much energy. But the idea of let's do what Bob does, OC, let's do what he does and try and get what he gets, which are all positive outcomes. And he was so dedicated to promoting the education of our coaches, to educate youth coaches, to educate the kids and further develop those kids. I want you to look around you and listen to these names as I call them off. Got guys like Mark Rudolph, Kevin Sullivan, Bob Shorts, Bobby Fire, Dave Bond, Jim Britt. These were people early in my life, my career, 26 years ago, when I first got involved in the skill development program and coaching education. later on. And then in 1999, I finished up my master's at the symposium and had an opportunity to join the coaching program with Ed Herneisen, Val Belmonte, Kevin McLaughlin, with the support of the national office staff and player development staff. And at that point, I started watching guys like John Riley, Jimmy Hunt. Jimmy, you still in the room? And Hollywood says those lights are bright for sure. So I'm really appreciative of the opportunities they gave me to watch coming out as a team leader in player development camps and just watching how the other coaches are acting. If I could model myself after what OC taught us, do what they do, get what they get, how can you go wrong? Well, I'm here to tell you a lot can go wrong. I'm a Pee Wee B coach, and I failed miserably. And it wasn't until I met guys like Mark Rudolph, who was the one-time officials director of education, and Kevin Sullivan from Mass Hockey, said, no. You got to do it a different way. You need to understand skill development. You need to understand the initiation program. We'll bring you into the fold. And that's when guys like Bob Shorts, Bob Fire, I remember the good old days. That the more I got creative and ambitious, the more Bobby had to work with me. The early days. Thank you, Bobby, for your friendship over all these years to do that. And it just makes sense. And then comes John DeNorsha, Mark Tabram, Tom Kester, and Glenn Heffron, people I call friends to this day. And without them to model coaching excellence, we wouldn't be as good as we are right now. But let me call out the names of our current staff and people that they're going to laugh at me or they're going to choke me. But we got Gump Whiteside, Alex DePalma, Andy Goydich, Ryan Carter, Alex Patusik, Callie Smith, Dave Moss, Kate Whitman-Annis, Jenny Hero, Lisa Imbruglia, Josh Levine, Karen McDonald, Joe Lanza, John Highland, and Dave Bond. One thing when I go to a coaching clinic in the weekend, I don't need to worry. Longevity of their service and dedication, loyalty, not to me, but to the coaching education ethics, is the best testimonial our national office can hope for. Think about it, 17 years, 20 years, 26 years, 8 years, 12 years. During the pandemic years, it would have been so easy for these people to say, I'm not doing 80 nights on Zoom again for 4 hours a night, but they stuck it out and we got the job done. And thank you, Glenn, for the recognition over the last couple of years to help us recognize and reward those individuals for doing more than anybody would have ever expected to do that. Hockey coaching is in a constant state of evolution, and none of us were put on the bench to remain stagnant. If you're not moving forward, if you're not driven by that learning experience, you don't learn something new. And it's okay if you try something, you fail at it. What's the meme we see? If you're not winning, you're learning. And we've heard that earlier tonight. So with all that, I am so humbled by the friendships I've made over the many years, 26 years, as skill development coordinator, whatever the title was, associate coaching chief, and for the last 14 years as the Atlantic District coaching chief. Now, with that said, June is my month to retire from the coaching program. I am stepping down after all these years, and we'll be turning over the reins to somebody new, and that announcement will come out shortly at some point. But it's been a long road, and I couldn't have done any of it without my wife's support from Judy, who never ever said, Jesus, would you go get a job? And the one time I thought she said that, I did. I took a job as a rink manager. Couldn't get away from hockey. But I'm grateful for my wife and her support, my own kids, and it's been a lot of fun. I will see you around the rinks. I will see you around the buildings, and I will see you around the disciplinary hearings as I take over the new reins of protests, appeals, and suspensions. So our paths will cross, perhaps. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for the friendships. God bless.
Thank you, Award. Don't forget this. Oh, yeah. What's this? Oh, yeah. Congratulations. One thing we forgot, we had Keith Veltri up here accepting his award. Forgot to say thanks to his wife. Doesn't want to get kicked out to the guest room tonight. So, Mrs. Veltri, thank you. You win this award, too. Give him a round of applause one more time. So most of you probably saw the gift baskets in the back, some different items put together from the sponsors here tonight. If you take a look at the gold plate that you all have, there's numbers Some of them have them, some of them don't. That's how you know if you won. If there's an empty seat next to you, first person to grab it wins. So take a look now. See if you can claim your prize, get you moving around a little bit. I know everybody's antsy to sit here and continue to listen to me talk. While you guys are doing that, we do have a couple more. We'll try to get through them here quickly. This is an important one. And it's the Hall of Fame. Please welcome USA Hockey treasurer Donna Gariglia to the stage for our Hall of Fame induction. You're up here. You're a pro.
Thank you. First, before I get started, thank you. We have to give a shout out to Where's Strategies Group and Jason, who put this whole event together. So please give a round of applause. The other thing I have to say before I get started is here. Gina, one, congratulations. Two, you know, they say hockey players are tough. You're the pregnant lady in the room, and you were one of the last recipients. So good for you for hanging in there. I have the honor and privilege to introduce the AAHA 2022 Hall of Fame inductee. I met this family when I was the president of the New Jersey Colonials, and they came to tryouts at Menin Arena. Once we all saw this little boy get on the ice, we quickly realized that he was going to be a very talented young player. Little did we know at that moment that his dad was quickly going to evolve into the textbook Tier 1 hockey dad. The interesting thing about this dad was he recognized his son's talent, but he also wanted the best development for every player in the organization. He became president of the New Jersey Colonials, and while he was there, he dedicated his talent and expertise to improve the organization as a whole. He supported all hockey, youth, girls, junior, adult, developmental, and looked to find innovative ways to advance the organization. He made an impact with several other organizations he was a member of as his son moved from one to another. His hard work led to him becoming involved at higher levels of hockey administration. He became the commissioner and president of the Atlantic Youth Hockey League, a USA Hockey director, and a member of USA Hockey's Youth Council, as well as participating on many other subcommittees. He knows the officiating rules and regs and the USA Hockey National Tournament Guide to the letter. You may not always agree with him, but you can't argue when he totally has vetted an issue. Everything in his path must be in its place and must be immaculate. If it's not, he has his Lysol and Purell at his side. He is the executive VP at Sandy Alexander Printing. He has produced work for the NBA, the New Jersey Devils, the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and many others, and is widely respected in his field. During the 2008 USA Hockey Girls Women's National Championships in the Atlantic District, he donated every piece of printable material, including full-size images of players from around the country to display in the rinks. He wrapped the facility like it was a professional all-star event and made every player who walked into the building feel special. He backed the girls' hockey programs right from the start, as well as the district's disabled and special hockey programs. But the two things that he is most proud of in all he has accomplished are his son Dante, who couldn't be here tonight because he had an exam, and his daughter Nicole. While he dedicated so much of his time and energy to hockey, he never lost sight of what was the most important thing in the world to him, his children. Before I call up Gene Pilecko, I have a few short comments from his colleagues. Keith Barrett, chair of the USA Hockey Youth Council. I have worked hand in hand for over 10 years with Gene Pilecko on the USA Hockey Youth Council. In that time, I have come to admire Gene for his compassion for the youth players in our game and his commitment to fair play and respect. Gene is a very strong voice for his district and his constituents. His attention to detail and ability to communicate with other volunteers makes Gene a true leader on the Youth Council and for USA Hockey. Past president of the New Jersey Colonials, Dee Dee McMenemy, Gene has spent the last 20 years of his life working to make the sport of hockey accessible and enjoyable to any girl or boy who had a dream of becoming the next big hockey star. Maureen Thompson-Siegel, secretary and disabled section rep for the Atlantic District at USA Hockey. Gene is a quiet presence in our affiliate. He is a steadfast gatekeeper for the players, families, and associations in our district. He is the king of the tiebreaker. Nobody does it better. His mantra is WWJD. What would Joan do? He credits Joan Mariconda for teaching him all he knows. Please join me in celebrating our 2022 AAHA Hall of Fame inductee, Gene Pilecko. And Gene, while you come up, I know there's a lot of people that have been up here. Congratulations.
That one's the thoughtful one, you know? Here, I'll get out of your way so you guys can take your photo. Thank you.
Wow, some of those things I forgot. It's been a long time, and the irony of this is, I know you all want to get out of here, so I'm going to make it pretty quick, and I'm going to go off a script. And Donna was the one that originally got me obviously involved in the game. And then I got recruited by Joan Mariconda. Kind of funny how that comes full circle now. And then I started to recruit other people to work in volunteer positions. But the interesting thing about it is obviously, you know, my daughter, she's here tonight, her boyfriend Nick, my future son-in-law. Great family things that we've seen tonight. For those of you that got here, you obviously saw Nick had a little episode and he passed out. But no fear, the hockey family's there, right? Through the good times, the bad times, the trials and tribulations of life, there's always somebody from the hockey world that's there to be by my side. So the relationships that you build and you go through in this sport are phenomenal. I know that Jeff Scott was here earlier. I see him back there. He first met my son at a basketball camp. So for all the coaches that said my kid never played another sport, Jeff could prove that he actually did. But the irony of it is that Jeff actually didn't get the game of hockey back then when Dante was at those basketball camps. Now he's on the dark side with us. And Colby, I got a question for you because Donna kind of let the cat out of the bag. I was the original crazy hockey dad, I think. I got 6 teams in 15 till he was 15. How many teams did you play on?
Probably right there.
See? So he's played in half the clubs out there. I know I pissed off a lot of the coaches out there. John, I see you up here. We've had our good times and our bad times, but we always parted respectfully. So it's a great game. The relationships that we build. Joan taught me so much about the game, and Glenn hates it when I say that because he's like, Joan's left a long time ago. You learned a lot more on your own. So it is about the family. No other sport is as diverse as hockey. When you think we could start playing when we're 4 years old and take it up to 60-year-old men playing for national championships. Men, women, disabled, blind. There's so many opportunities for people to play this great game. No other sport. Basketball doesn't have it. Baseball doesn't have it. Football doesn't have it. Hockey was the original diverse sport. So we have to become more diverse in the universe. We agree to that. But we really wrote the book on it when you think about how diverse the sport is, when you think about the age group that we span. And there's no one that does it better when it comes to coaching education, training the athletes, training the coaches, training the officials, the officiating development program, and where that's gotten so many of the guys that have come through the game and advanced on to other areas. So it's a huge task, but the people out in the audience, you guys are part of this. This isn't a me award. Most of you that have known me over the years realize that it's about everybody. I couldn't have done this without the great people. You know, Donna's here, obviously, she recruited me. Charlie McLaughlin's out there in the audience, another mentor of mine, Paul Redmond. Colonials had a great staff back then, and were kind of the launch pad for me, and I always think back of people that I looked up to, like Dick Foster, Joan Mariconda, Tony Mariconda. You always want to pass the torch on to somebody that is going to take their legacy and take it to the next dimension. So I guess that's my job now, since I'm kind of getting older. I'm going to have to find the next person that's going to be the crazy hockey dad that I could recruit into there and see if he could outdo 6 teams in a short career in the Atlantic affiliate. So again, hats off to Jason and his team, Glenn, Maureen. This is a Herculean effort. I know what goes into it behind the scenes. It's a great job. Thank you, everybody, for coming out here and spending, 4 or 5 hours listening to the speeches that you probably really didn't want to listen to. Thanks to everybody for helping Nick out, and to Nicole, I love you. Obviously, it's a great thing for your family to be involved in the game of hockey. So God bless everybody. Safe travels home. Thank you.
Still looking for number 3. So if you haven't looked at your plate, they're still looking for the 3rd one. So if you got an empty seat next to you, give it a look. So we'll wrap this up, and on behalf of the entire Atlantic affiliate, I know this was a little bit longer than we had all planned. Good to see a lot of familiar faces, but we really do thank you for your service to amateur hockey. I'm proof I wouldn't be here tonight. I wouldn't have been able to play hockey at the levels that I did if not for a lot of people in this room, and I'm sure there's players that come after me that have benefited from all the different folks that give their time. So thank you to everyone, and have a good night. And as we look to the next 50 years, we'll be kicking off the 2022-23 season with some recognition of women involved in hockey.
"2023, Year of the Woman in Ice Hockey. Player, coach, official, league officer, team manager, carpool driver. Women have played a valuable role in the growth of hockey in our affiliate, often keeping our leagues and tournaments held together. Join us as we recognize their contributions and empower the next generation of female leaders.